It's Friday, April 5th, 2024, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden has delivered a blunt message to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. America's patience with Israel's campaign against Hamas and the Gaza Strip is not infinite. Dave Sands reports the president told Netanyahu the humanitarian situation in Gaza is unacceptable and that Israel needs to implement a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to limit civilian casualties and protect relief agencies. Biden gave the warning in the first call between the two leaders following an errant Israeli airstrike this week that killed 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers in the war-torn Palestinian enclave. He made clear that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by our assessment of Israel's immediate action on these steps. President Biden finalized new civil service protections aimed at preventing future presidents from undertaking bureaucratic house cleanings. Stephen Dinan reports the rules would shield federal workers from losing civil service protections if they are involuntarily moved into job classifications that lack those protections. The rules also create an appeals process for workers who are shifted. The president said his rules would insulate employees from political pressure by making it tougher to reclassify their jobs and then fire them. Truckers nationwide are expressing misgivings about what they say is a logistical nightmare: the EPA's rules to start making heavy-duty trucks go electric. Ramsey Touchberry reports newly announced policies require roughly 25% of new semi-trucks or similar heavy-duty vehicles to be electric by 2032. The trucking industry warns that President Biden is being too hasty and that his plans could upend the transportation sector. The roadblocks to an EV transition in the sector include reduced range, more refueling time, and lighter load capacities because of heavier vehicle weights. The NCAA women's basketball tournament is the hottest ticket in sports right now, thanks to the seemingly unquenchable interest in Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark. Another record audience is expected for Friday night's Final Four matchup between Iowa and Connecticut, Liam Griffin reports, after Iowa's Elite Eight win over LSU became the most-watched women's basketball game of all time. The NCAA's Division I career scoring leader, Clark is playing in her final collegiate games, chasing an elusive national title before departing for the WNBA next season. Though the arena is smaller, getting into the games in Cleveland this weekend will cost more than a ticket to the men's Final Four games in Greater Phoenix. And finally, national politics reporter Susan Ferricchio talks with Mark Judge, who was accused in 2018 of helping now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh sexually assault Christine Blasey Ford at a high school drinking party. Judge refused to testify in public at the time of Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing. Kavanaugh was eventually confirmed to the Supreme Court by a vote of 50-48. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.